Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile, and these are the Kennerton Gjallarhorn GH50JM edition. Gjallarhorn, Gjallarhorn? I don't know how exactly to pronounce it, but anyways, the Gjallarhorn, that's how we're going to pronounce it. These are from Kennerton, and I want to thank my friend of the channel and the subscriber who provided these for a review. Do greatly appreciate it. You know who you are. Thank you very much. You rock. Alright, so the Gjallarhorn, the JM stands for the John Massaria edition. John Massaria was one of the very first customers of the Gjallarhorn, and he modded it and advised Kennerton of his mod. Kennerton really enjoyed his mod, and they said, we're going to make our own edition of this, and they stuck his name on it in recognition. So this is the JM edition. You can also get it in different colors. This is Strawberry Jam, and it's just beautiful with the wood. And you can also get it in a darker wood and a lighter wood. I really do enjoy the Strawberry Jam edition. It is very well built. It has a very nice spring steel headband. It's got this little suspension strap with some nice leather on it. Yes, that is real leather. It's got lambskin leather all over it. It is closed back, and even the cups have leather on them. They have a nice big huge logo. And then also you can see right here on the headband, it's kind of hard to see on camera, there's an L and an R. Overall, I find that they are kind of comfy. The suspension strap doesn't work the best for my head, but since these are not mine, I did not do anything with the suspension bands to try to make a little bit more clamp force or to make it conform to my head. Overall, they just plop on your head and they just fit. They're nice and light. They're about 406 grams, and the cups are massively huge. They should fit pretty much any size ear shape. And yeah, I mean, they're comfy. I can wear them for hours. I have no problem whatsoever in that regard. They do have a 50mm graphene dynamic driver, frequency response of 10 Hz to 50 kHz, 33 ohms, and 116 decibels of sensitivity, so they're fairly easy to drive. You also get a couple of really nice accessories. You get a single-ended cable. It does connect with 3.5s into the ear cups, and then this one is a 1/4 inch. It's about 8 foot long. It's decently fabric made, and it just works. It's not the greatest quality cable. It is a little bit stiff, and it keeks up a little bit, and if you have things on your desk and you move around, it may move a few of the lighter things that are just kind of sitting there around if it touches them. Also, you get this fantastic carrying bag, and this thing is made of leather, and it smells good, and it looks really nice. It's got a carrying strap there, and it's got little hooks so that there's a strap on the inside that you can use it as a shoulder bag. When it opens up, here on the top you have another little pocket, and on the inside you also have a pocket right here, and then it's really huge and deep, and your headphones just sit in there. I do wish that there was something in it to kind of cradle the headphones as they sit inside, but other than that, it is a really nice bag. And that's all the accessories that Kennerton sends you. It's a really nice package though, and I find that for the price tag, it doesn't go over and beyond and won't overwhelm you with a ton of accessories, but it gives you everything that you need to get started, and it makes you feel like you made a quality purchase. Alright, so speaking of quality, and if it makes you feel like you got a good quality purchase, how do they sound? The Kennerton Gjallarhorn GH50JM edition. Man, that's a mouthful. Anyways, they have a very fun and pleasing sound signature for the most part. There are a few things that stand out. Number one, the bass on the Gjallarhorn is just crazy good. I really enjoy the bass on this. Now, it is nice and extended. You get a really good, nice thump and crunch and just crispness and good texture in the notes, and it has very good tone and timbre. Everything just sounds like it should, and you get authority and you get power, but you don't have dominance. It's not going to overwhelm you with a big, huge, deep, just massive bass head type of bass. No, this is actually a well-controlled, properly tuned bass that flows with the music and does what it's supposed to do, but also adds just a little bit of fun factor to it. And then it does slightly bleed into the mids at times on some tracks, but it's not enough to be annoying or a nuisance or a problem. I find that it gives just a little bit of a body to the upper bass and lower mids region. And then speaking of the mids are very uneven. The bottom end and the upper end are accentuated, and they feel proper in that areas. They somewhat. The mids are one of my major complaints about the Gjallarhorn. It has good body in the lower end of the mids, and it is accentuated in the upper mids. And then right in the middle, it's recessed. And so your mids kind of go like that, and there's a big dip. And so the middle main part of your mids can sound a little thin, and they feel really far recessed from the rest. And if you're listening to a lot of piano music or a lot of guitars and like acoustical guitars and things like that, lower octaves and upper octaves will sound natural and correct. And then the middle part, the main part of the music, just sounds unnatural and doesn't sound even compared to the rest of the mids. And then the upper mids, they have just a little too much boost. They're just accentuated a little too much, and they get some sibilance and some harshness in there, and you can get a little bit of aggressiveness. And I find that they go into fatiguing mode a little bit. Then you get into the treble, and the treble is even peaked, especially in the lower and main part of the treble. And I find that it can be aggressive and intense in its presentation. Now, this whole time throughout that, the tone and the timbre is good. It's just that excessiveness and that intensity is just too much. And then you have good extension in the treble, and it goes nice and wide. And I find that overall, I enjoy the sound signature of the Gjallarhorn, but the overall presentation is just a little too in your face and a little too aggressive. Soundstage wise, now this I love. Now remember, this is a closed back headphone, but the soundstage on the Gjallarhorn is crazy. You would not think you're listening to a closed back headphone. I have never heard a closed back headphone that gets as wide and as expansive as the Gjallarhorn. It does a fantastic job, and I'm not sure if it's the horns that are doing this, like the horn shape of the driver cup assembly, or if it's just the way that Kennerton does their sound. This is my first Kennerton I've ever heard, so I'm not sure if that's a commonality among Kennertons or not, but wow, these things have a massive stage. It is really wide. I am quite impressed with that. And it also does a really good job with depth and layering. It's very impressive in how it portrays that. It's a very immersive soundstage, and I really, really do enjoy that aspect of it. Imaging tracks very well. Everything just kind of moves around and everything just kind of flows. It's very cohesive sounding. I enjoy these for gaming. I enjoy them for movies. Music is just fantastic on these, especially when it comes to the soundstage. Gjallarhorn. Yeah. Definitely a unique experience, and I enjoy them. How do they compare to the Mr. Speaker's Ether C? Now, the Mr. Speaker's Ether C is more comfortable to wear for me. It just fits on my head, and it clamps better, and everything just kind of is where it is, and it's just very light, especially for a planar. But sound-wise, the Ether Cs are more balanced and more cohesive. They don't have that dip like the Gjallarhorn does, and they don't have that big rise like the Gjallarhorn does. And I find that the Ether Cs are non-fatiguing, and that they do a better job of portraying a more balanced and cohesive sound. They have a big soundstage, not as wide as the Gjallarhorn, but to me, it actually sounds more realistic on the Ether C. The Ether C also does a better job of depth and layering with being more accurate and true. You can kind of pinpoint things a little bit easier on the Ether C, whereas with the Gjallarhorn, things are just kind of whizzing around your head and moving, and you can kind of get lost in the moment and just enjoy it, and you can't quite pinpoint and place. And then the Ether C is more true in the tone and timbre. It's more lifelike and realistic. It has a more natural tone to it. Even though the Ether C is a little bit lighter, the Gjallarhorn has a little bit more body and note weight to it. The Ether C is more accurate and true in the tone and timbre. So overall, I really do enjoy the Gjallarhorn, and I find that the Ether C is a very good complement to it. But I do find that the Ether C is the more technical and more business-like of the two, whereas the Gjallarhorn is the more pleasing, fun, and engaging sound. Amp-wise. Now this was interesting, and I tried it on 3 different DACs and several different amplifiers. The DACs of choice were the Mytek Liberty, Matrix Element X, and the Bifrost 2 from Shit Audio. And I found that the Matrix and the Mytek did a very good job of powering them, and it just flowed very well, and everything sounded accurate and true, but that aggressive nature of the Gjallarhorn really came out, and they were a little bit more fatiguing on the Matrix and the Mytek. And then you put in the Bifrost, and the Bifrost kind of tames things out and mellows it out a little bit, and it brings a more enjoyable moment with the Gjallarhorn. Amp-wise, the GSX Mini was my main amplifier with all the DACs. I also used the THX AAA 1 linear, and also I used the Tor Audio Roger. And I found that the Tor Audio Roger, along with the Bifrost 2, was a very pleasing and fun sound. It just added this like romantic lushness to it. And so I find that the Gjallarhorns really do well on tube amplifiers. And it also does well with a little slightly warmer sounding DAC. So if you are going to pick up the Gjallarhorns, and either the JM edition or the regular edition, I recommend that you have something that's a little bit warmer sounding in the DACs and amps. It just kind of mellows them out, tames them, and takes away that aggressive harshness and sibilance and fatiguing nature. Again, I really appreciate the user the subscriber and friend of the channel that sent over the Gjallarhorns for a review. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. This was quite the experience. And I do recommend them, but you do have to keep in mind some of the caveats that I mentioned. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on the screen, subscription link, notification bells. If you haven't already checked those off, don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when the next video is uploaded. Also, there's all kinds of links down below. There's links for a headphone and IEM tier list. There's a resource guide that explains terms that I use. There's information regarding recommended gear and music playlists that are used during the review process. All kinds of things are listed down below. Don't forget to check those out. Also, there is another thing that you can help me out with, and that is by just commenting, giving a thumbs up and a thumbs down if you have to. Hopefully you don't have to, but I understand if you do. This has been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.